All these candles. Got so many. It's great. Okay, hi everybody. We'll settle in, and it's a little after 7, so get started. And hi everybody in the ethers. My name is Chandra. I see some new faces, so welcome to people who are here for the first time. This is every Tuesday, 7 o'clock, and we are making our way through a text that's really one of my favorite classic Tibetan Dharma texts on mind training by Chekawa Yeshe Dorje. Mind training is the English translation. The Tibetan is Lojong. Lojong. Lo means mind. Jong means to train or to purify. So basically all Dharma is mind training. It's not just this category. So whether you're doing Vipassana or Shamatha or deity yoga, mantra, visualization, studying, contemplating things, it's all training the mind, right? Attentional training, mind training. So, but this is what, usually when you hear people say that they're studying mind training, this is what they're talking about. Lojong. Yeah. So we're on the 20th slogan. We'll get into that after our sit. I want to make a couple announcements. So next week we'll continue with the Lojong, but I also want to bring in my book and read a little bit from it and start to share a little bit more about my book that's coming out. It comes out on the 12th of December, so 2 weeks from now. Pre-order is totally an option right now. It's been on pre-order for a couple months now. The book is on Buddhist Tantra and particularly women, but the book is meant for everybody. It's called Embodying Tara, 21 Manifestations to Awaken Your Innate Wisdom. So a lot of people know of the goddess Tara, but not everybody knows that there are 21 aspects of her. So I go through all of them. It's like a book with stories and teachings and anecdotes, but it can also be a reference book where you can be like, oh, I'm feeling like reading about Tara 5 today. You know, what is she all about? And there are meditations and her mantra, her iconography, what she means, what symbols on the top of her lotus flower. Each Tara has all these different types of symbols, different colors, and purposes. Some are fierce, some are peaceful, some are joyful. There's all these different moods of the Great Mother, either wrathful or peaceful, or somewhere in between. And so I'll talk a little bit more about it, and I'll do just a little teaser of a reading from it next week. Okay? Maybe we'll do a guided meditation as well. So with that book, with the practice in the book next week. Then 2 weeks from tonight, we'll do Feeding Your Demons. So how many people have been here for those occasional Feeding Your Demons nights? Yeah. Eric, what do you think about that?
It was phenomenal. It changed my experience for months afterwards.
That's great. It's kind of like perfect because I know he was going to say something like that, because afterwards he's like, that practice was amazing. So when I saw you raise your hand, I was like, oh yeah, Eric. But anyone else want to offer something different? I mean, we can also have a different voice. It doesn't have to be Eric. How was it for you, Megan?
It was scary, but very well worth it, I think.
Nice. Yeah. By the end of it, were you scared or were you happy?
I don't know if I felt like joyful. I
like Eric.
Maybe I felt like more curious and invested in my emotional experience, but
yeah,
definitely like the depth of where the emotions went were like, whoa, a lot.
Yeah, it's powerful. Yeah. It's a really cool tool for meditators. It's a 5-step practice where we learn to meet rather than kind of turn away from, or feed rather than fight our so-called obstacles, challenges, really any aspect of ourselves, whether it's mental, emotional, or physical, really, that block our experience of freedom in our life. So for meditators, it's really nice to have that as a tool, because you might say you have a daily practice, and usually you do something like Vipassana or Shamatha or Dzogchen, but maybe one day you wake up and you're kind of seething, or something happened, or somebody's wronged you, or you've got an emotional upheaval, and you're trying to sit and watch the breath or rest in awareness, and it's just not happening because there's something that needs to be addressed. Something so-called demon is like, listen to me. And what they say is that when our mindfulness is not as strong as our, I could say neuroses, but I don't mean to be derogatory towards our emotions or these challenges, then there's no way the mindfulness is going to win, right? It's like, and then the bell rings and we realize we've been lost in space for half an hour or lost in something. So feeding your demons can be a nice thing to be like, maybe today I'll do the 5 steps, feeding your demons, and see what happens. So it's like meditation, but it's more of like a guided process, personal practice process, you could say, that culminates in the 5th step, which is resting in awareness. So it brings you afresh to the place where you would normally start. And usually you're just so ready because you've addressed, it's like you've done your internal housekeeping. It's like that neuroses or that challenge, it's been dealt with. You've been like, hi, I see you. Thank you for coming. What do you want to say? And then it has its say, and you get to learn from that. Feed the demon, meet the ally, and then rest in awareness. And then you're like, oh yeah, okay, now I can meditate. So that's why I say it's a good tool for meditators. It was developed by my teacher, Lama Tsoltrim Alioni. And there's a book called Feeding Your Demons. So if you're curious about it, get the book, watch some YouTube videos. I've got plenty, she's got lots, plenty of good folks teaching it around the country and the world. We've done pilot studies for it. It's really growing. And you will get to experience it intimately in 2 weeks if you want to do that. And if you think it sounds really weird and you don't want to do that, then don't come in 2 weeks. I like to give you plenty of warning. And don't worry, you're in your own space. You know, it's a safe space and a brave space. And I've been doing this for 15 years, and I love guiding groups in it. But it's also something you can do one-on-one, which is also really cool. Okay. Yeah, like teens, kids. I've done it with children. It's good for addiction. It's good for chronic pain. It's good for PTSD. It's good for a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of therapists will get trained in it and kind of introduce it with their clients when the time is right, when it feels like a good time for them. So those are the announcements. Hannah, anything else?
We are looking for another volunteer to help out with
Right.
your book event.
The book
on the
event.
16th. So if anyone wants to do that, we afterwards they can get connected.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. We really rely on volunteers. So if you're free Saturday, December 16th, and you want to come have a festive sort of book launch gathering with me and all of our friends here, feel free to talk to Hannah about that. Thank you. Yeah, good. We'll have snacks and maybe even music. I'm seeing if some of my musician friends will come, and we'll do a couple melodies to the Tara mantras. If I can get them to come, we'll do some chanting too.
What time is that?
6:30 to 8. Yeah. Bring your friends, spread the word. We also wanted to say, if you're coming to Feeding Your Demons, that tends to fill up. So sign up ahead of time. Yeah. All right. So let's do our chanting of our opening prayer. We'll do 11 times. Sharana Gatadinarta. It's on the top of the chant sheet there. We'll do it once, call and response. So you can repeat after me and practice that. And then we'll do it 11 times together. So the English translation is below If you feel more comfortable just reading the English so you can understand what we're singing, please do that. That's important. You could read for a little bit and then you could join in when you feel ready. It's in Sanskrit. It's a prayer to the Great Mother, or the goddess, as Narayani, who's very much connected to Mother Tara in the Buddhist world. So let's close our eyes and take a few breaths. Arouse our heartfelt motivation for our time tonight. This is like setting the course of our practice, like having a ballast in a ship. Arousing your intention before you begin helps to bring you to where you want to go, enlightenment. This is called bodhicitta, a heartfelt wish to be of benefit, to practice and heal so that we can be a place of refuge for others. Bodhicitta. Sharanagata dinartha, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvas Re Devi, Narayani namostute, Sharanagata dinartha, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute. So let's open our eyes. We're going to do a little bit of movement, about 10 minutes or so. And we'll do the warm-ups that we usually do, but we'll do them from a seated position tonight. Sometimes we do them standing. Sometimes we do them seated. So, and then we'll do a longer sit. Tonight I want to do about a 45-minute sit, but I'm going to do it differently than I usually do. Normally we just start and go all the way till 45 minutes. But another way that we can do longer sits are to break them up in what's called gatikas. Gatika is a 24-minute segment of time. It's used in the Kala Chakra Tantra, it's used in Chinese medicine, and it is considered to be the length of time that it takes the prana to circulate through the body, one complete round. And it can be a really wonderful length of time to do a meditation practice. It's kind of like not too long, not too short. So what we're going to do is I will guide the sit. We'll do our first gatika. And after 24 minutes, I'll ring the bell. And if you're locked in and you're in a good place, you can just stay where you are. You can let the bell ring be like a reminder of mindfulness bell type thing. You don't have to do anything. Just keep going. If the body is screaming on the other end, or if you feel like you need to change positions or itch your ear or something, then that's when you hear the bell, that's the time when you can shift. So it's like a little juncture where you can, I can lie down, or I'm going to move to the chair in the back, or put the left foot in front instead of the right, or do a little spinal twist and take a breath and then reset, right? So really listen to your body. If you need to adjust, you can adjust at that juncture. Try not to move up until then, okay? Just try. If you absolutely need to do something, don't worry, the Dharma police won't come in and handcuff you. But do it gently. If you have to move, my instruction is do it slowly. Don't be like, but be like, oh my God. But it's all mindful, all right? That's the key. Because really practice is in every moment. We have to get out of the way of thinking that the only time we practice is on this cushion, or in front of our shrine. It's all the time, right now. So even the itching the knee is an opportunity to move mindfully, right? So you can move if you have to, but ideally you don't move, because that gives the mind a fighting chance at settling and quieting down. Right? If we're always fidgeting, fixing, the mind doesn't have a chance. Yeah? All right. So that's what we'll do tonight. We'll do 2 gatikas. So everybody, take your right foot and put it over your left thigh. Then grab your toes, the tops of your toes. If you don't have socks on, you can interlace the fingers in between the toes. Then take your your right hand and place it to stabilize the ankle and start to rotate. We'll do 30 reps. 1, 2, 3, kind of fast. You're really kind of stimulating circulation. 15, 16, 17. I like to palpate up and down the back of the leg to increase circulation and move the lymph. 2, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like you're cranking an old-fashioned car and you're trying to rev the engine. So really ask the ankle to move. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Other side. So these are called the Dasha Chalanam. Same thing, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Palpating up and down. Back of the leg. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 30, and reverse. So switch your hands. You in the cap. Yeah, that's it. Oh, you need to. Okay, sometimes people just do it because they didn't understand. But you understood, and you're listening to your body. Good. Okay. 10 more. 3, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good. Straighten the leg. Shake it out. Now, if you can, cross your legs in a comfortable position. Some people might take lotus easily. If you can, go for it. If not, doesn't matter. Just do a comfortable cross-legged position. And sit up nice and tall. So we've done the feet. Now we're going to work from the top of the body down through the joint sites. So we'll do the neck. Exhale, release the chin down towards the chest and start to move the chin to the right shoulder and then up and around. Don't worry, we won't do 30. We'll do 5 in each direction. So this is a little slower. Relax the shoulders. Feel the sits bones rooted onto the cushion. 3, 4. Last one, 5. Come around to the chest and then reverse. 1. Let the jaw go relaxed. 2. You can imagine you're drawing a circle with your nose on an imaginary mirror in front of you. 4. One more. And 5. Good. Come to the chest and then face to neutral. Look straight ahead. Good. Take the palms of your hands, place them at the crease of your hips. We're doing the shoulders now. So as we rotate the shoulders up and back, right at your peak, you want to see if you can straighten the arms and press. Everybody do this with me for a sec. Like press the palms down right at the crease of the hips. This is called a marma point, a vital juncture that controls the circulation of blood and lymph in and out of the legs. Okay, so you really want to press down and then keep moving. You can bend the elbows as you come down, forward, and then really try to press down when you hit the apex of that circle. Feeling free to modify in any way you need to. Now we'll do 10 reps. 5, 6. This is a little faster. 7, 8, 9, and 10, and reverse. 1, 2, good. 3, 4, breathing. 5, feel the belly soft with the breath. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Take the back of the hands together, arms straight. Yeah. Then bring them in, around, keep the backs of the hands together, then they roll. So basically the wrists are rolling around. So you come in, and then you make the offering out. Rolling in, opening out. Good. 3, 4, 5, a little faster. 6, relax the shoulders. 7, 8, good. 9, 10, and reverse. 1, good. 2, 3, 4, sit up nice and tall. 6, good. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now from here, breath stroke. 1, then palms up as they cut across the waist. 2, palms up as they cut. 3, 4. So this is a form of shadow yoga. We were just talking about that with Will. So shadow yoga is based on South Indian martial arts and dance traditions, and these are classic warm-ups that are found in Kalari and Bharatanatyam, the Indian dance form, and reverse. What they say is that these joint mobilization, these style of warm-ups that are very similar to like Qigong, got lost in the importation of yoga to the West. by Iyengar, Pattabhi Joyce, Yogananda, all these early guys, they didn't really bring this aspect over, but it existed. Now, take the hands, interlace them, and rotate. I see these as like insurance against injury. If you warm up the joint sites, you're less likely to injure your body when you do more kind of vigorous exercise, yoga, dance, running, biking, swimming, whatever. And then reverse. 1, 2, 3, relax the shoulders. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Now to the right spiral, tap, left spiral tap. So I didn't say spinal tap, spiral and tap. But we could tap the spine too. The front hand taps the front shoulder, back hand taps the kidney point, the lower ribs. Let the head move. The main thing is to get the spine to move. Good. A couple more rounds. The breath is natural through all of these, just a nice, even breath. And last time now to the left, then bring the hands down on the thighs. Make circles with the navel. 1, 2. I'm making small movements because I had spine surgery 6-7 weeks ago, but you can do bigger movements if you want. Main point is to really stir the cauldron of the pelvis with the spine, the navel. 8, 9, 10, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then sarpa, the wave, forward and back, like seaweed in the water. Again, I'm making quite small movements. You can go bigger if it feels good. 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. 9 and 10. Very nice. Let's inhale, raise our arms out to the side. Look up. Hold the breath in. Press the palms down. Exhale. 2 more like this. Inhale the arms out to the side. Look up. Chin down now. Hold the breath in as you wave the hands straight down the center line. Now exhale as the hands pass in front of the face, pressing the energy down through the root. Last time. Inhale. Hold the breath in and moving the hands down. Exhale slowly. Good. Now this time you're just going to walk the hands forward and do a gentle forward fold. Move into your capacity, wherever it feels good to you, and bow the head. Let's take 10 breaths in this shape. Folding forward. Yeah, if you need to straighten the legs, you can do a straight-legged forward fold. So we always have to work with our circumstances. Regardless, try to keep your sits bones really rooted back into the cushion so you don't jam too far forward into the knees. And you can use the hands and the arms to go straight to kind of push yourself back into the hips a bit more if you need to. Yeah, good. Slowing down the breath. If you know Ujjayi breath, then start to do that more consciously now. A gentle constriction at the root of the throat helps to slow down the breath. You can hear like the hissing of the breath. It's called Ujjayi in the yoga. Good. Relax tension from the shoulders, from the neck, the jaw, belly, hips. And then when you're ready, slowly come up. So now let's take about a minute to find our lily pad. Find your happy little island, because we're going to sit. Now will be our sit. 24 minutes and then another 24 minutes. 2 gatikas. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start lying down, and then if I'm feeling good, then I'll get up. But my doctors don't want me sitting upright for more than, hour and a half or so. So I'm listening to my body, and I encourage you to do the same with your body. There's no ultimate ideal of what meditation positioning has to look like. The main point is to have the spine straight. So if you're doing that upright or lying back, either way works. Okay. All righty. Good. So once you find your position, go ahead and close your eyes. Now that the body has been loosened up, warmed up, let your body settle. A common analogy is like a bundle of straw whose string has been cut. Let the body be relaxed and at ease, like a bundle of straw who's just flopped naturally in its own place. So notice if you're still holding tension in the face or the throat, the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, you name it, the belly, the back, the hips. With each out breath, feel that inner release, that flopping of the release. And beginning with opening to a simple quality of being in the moment with whatever is, this simplicity of just turning towards whatever's true in this moment without fixing. We turn inward and feel, what's the weather like inside today? And then without getting pulled into the story, just be with it. Whatever that is, fatigue, excitation, boredom, heartbreak, whatever you find in there, breathe in and out and simply align yourself with what is true in this moment by being and meeting it, being with it and meeting it. And let yourself taste the nourishment of that simplicity. Like, have you let yourself do that today? It's so nice. Just letting yourself be. And likewise, letting the breath be. Any yogic breathing can now be relaxed, and we're simply shifting into a more mindfulness-based practice where we're simply being with whatever is true with the breath. Is it deep, shallow, long, or short? Let it be. A natural breath. And from time to time, it might be nice to take a conscious deep breath to help release tension, but then immediately let go of any control. Again, let the breath find its natural rhythm. And in this way, the prana within the body begins to find its natural balance. And the nervous system begins to calm, recalibrate. And then the mind naturally begins to follow suit. So when thoughts arise, rather than push them away or grasp onto them, if you can let them simply be in the space of the mind as they arise and pass, they too naturally begin to become more and more infrequent. The space between one arising of thought and the next starts to grow. And that natural luminosity of awareness that pervades thought begins to shine forth with more strength, radiance. Let the mind be. This is called letting the body, the breath, and the mind settle in their natural state. Another way of saying letting the body, breath, and mind be. We no longer need to fix. When in doubt, release, release, release. Release control, judgment. Can you bring patience and spaciousness to this inner atmosphere and rest? Like drinking from a mountain spring. Drink from the wellspring within you, within the core of your being, and feel that nourishment wash through you, cleanse you, feed you, heal you. As the body begins to settle in its natural state of stillness and relaxation, you may notice a more subtle layer of tension. So again, with the out breath, let it be your solvent. Let it release tension, maybe in the jaw, the facial muscles, the brow. Often there may be a subtle or not so subtle tension held at the base of the skull. See if with the breath you can soften and create more space at the occiput, the base of the skull, the neck, the throat. Draw the chin slightly towards the center of the throat, and that lengthens the back of the neck, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Is there a subtle grasping at the navel? The pelvic floor, soften with the out breath. How about the thumbs? Relax. Let the body settle in its natural state like a mountain, still, at ease within itself, aligned with gravity. As the breath begins to settle in its natural rhythm, the prana begins to balance and flow more smoothly within the channels. You may start to feel a shifting of the winds within you, meditative experiences, sensations may come through you, but don't grasp. These are simply nyam or meditative experiences, not to be reified, not to be grasped or pushed away. Just notice and come back to this feeling of settling the body, settling the breath in their natural state, at ease. Let the breath flow freely like the wind through the trees. And you may even find the breath becoming, in fact, a little more shallow. Don't force it, but if you notice it, just let it be. Even at times it becomes fewer and far between the breaths. And a subtle technique is to allow the exhalation to completely empty and rest in that pause, that space at the end of the out-breath. And then take the breath in naturally when it arises. And again, exhale, releasing any holding or tension. And then release into that space at the end of the out-breath. That gap between the out-breath and the in-breath. Rest there, unforced. Let it be natural. And letting thoughts be, settling the mind in its natural state. like the sky, unbound, free, open, without center or periphery. Thoughts are simply arisings and passings within this vaster space of the mind. And again, with the exhalation, if you notice you're lost in thought, release the grasping, release that subtle grasping onto thought with the exhalation and reunite with that space of awareness, the space that holds thought, that holds memory. Becoming aware of the space within which thoughts arise, feelings arise and pass, without getting pulled or yanked around by them. This is called settling the mind in its natural state, free of grasping, free of distraction. Release thought, refresh your awareness, and return to this quality of a spacious, luminous, radiant mind again and again. Settle right back in. Enter back into the stream. Capture the citadel of awareness, as they say in some of the old texts, meaning that when you find yourself there, locked in, and practice begins to offer up its gifts to you, don't let it go so easily. Claim it, but with a spaciousness. Capturing the citadel of awareness means that you stabilize Rigpa. You stabilize resting in the natural state of mind. That luminous yet empty radiance of awareness. And in this space, thoughts aren't a problem. They're simply expressions of that radiance, creative displays of that radiance. What could be wrong with the creative displays of the radiance? Whether it's happy, sad, everything in between. It's all creative displays. Releasing with the out-breath and stabilize back within this quality of body still like a mountain, breath at ease and free like the wind in the trees, and the mind spacious like the sky. And if you wish, you can open the eyes and gaze at a comfortable angle towards the floor to move more formally into the practice of settling the mind in its natural state. If not, that's fine. Either way. If the eyes open, rest them relaxed, still, calm, like a limpid pool of water. Feeling free to blink whenever you need to. Rest the eyes if you need to. Then open again and soften the gaze. Feel that the vision spreads 360 degrees around you. The muscles behind the eyes soften. With the eyes open, the feeling of gazing into the space of the mind itself becomes palpable. The domain of the mind becomes the object of attention. And release distraction with the out-breath. Refresh awareness and return to mindfulness of the mind itself. Relaxed body, relaxed breath, spacious mind, yet not spacey mind. Clarity and emptiness. At times it can be helpful to engage in a slightly more analytical style of meditation. If the mind is active, unruly thoughts and so on bubbling up uncontrollably, that's okay. You can use that energy of the mind. And you can, in a few different ways. Tonight, I invite you to look for the source of thought and then the destination, or the location of that thought. And then finally, the destination of that thought. So, source, location, destination. Can you find a thing, a referent to the thought? Or as soon as you try to find it, does it disappear? This is another way of practicing vipassana, another way for the mind to look at mind itself. Can you find anything solid called thought, let alone the mind itself? You may find that when you look, you may think you find something, but then under deeper analysis, there's really nothing tangible there, and yet there is awareness. There is a quality of cognizance, of presence, stabilize in that experience. Look, release, and rest in awareness. You can do that from time to time, always coming back, alighting upon the experience of resting in the space of the mind. This is called your own awareness, Rigpa, primordial consciousness, beyond birth and death, pervades all your experience. Unchanged by the arising and passing of thoughts, creative displays of awareness. Let yourself rest and settle the mind in its natural state in this way. Thank you. That's two katikas. How did that feel? I can't see you. Wrong glasses. Did you find the pause in the middle helpful or distracting? Both. You found it helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I
Mm.
find that if, like, the more that I'm feeling kind of held in some structure, the more I can release
Mm-hmm.
into it. So just having that marker kind of
Yeah.
allowed the thinking part of my mind to be like, okay, if we're still here,
Yeah.
go deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting reflection. Yeah. It's like take another step, one more step deeper.
Or like you're halfway.
Right. Yeah. It kind of feeds the mind going, how far are we into this? Yeah. Meditation can be so good sometimes. It's like happy pill. I feel like, wow, this is what I've been wanting all along. Reunion with myself, my deeper self, the wellspring. Okay, Lojong, number 20. That's where we're at tonight. Who wants to read number 20? I'm going to go about 5-ish minutes late, I hope. And if you absolutely have to leave it right at 8:30, then feel free to do that. Otherwise, I will go a bit over. Please, somebody who hasn't done it before. The fearless flyer. Go ahead.
Of the two witnesses hold the principal one.
Good. Of the two witnesses, hold the principal one. This is pretty cryptic. A lot of these really need unpacking. Of the two witnesses, hold the principal one. Another option for the translation would be attend to the chief of two witnesses. The Tibetan is Dangpo Niki Lojong. And so actually, the latter translation I offered is kind of more of a direct translation. Attend to the chief of two witnesses. So it's like there's two of something, and it's telling us to attend to the chief one of the two. We have no idea what it's talking about. What are they talking about? Well, for those of you who've been coming regularly, you might be guessing already that what else could it be but perhaps self and other. Those are the two. Self and other. 1, 2. Duality. Duality. So of the two of these, self and other, which do you think, of course, is the chief? The chief. The main one. The most important one. This is not a trick question. Actually, I can see it in your eyes. You're thinking, wait a minute. If we're supposed to cherish others more than ourselves, then would it be the others? But wait, in my own experience, I'm the most important thing because that's all I've got, really, right? So what do you think? There's no wrong answers. There are right answers.
Other.
But I'm glad you gave it a go. In this case, it's self. And I will explain. So this will require the other pair of glasses. I got these progressives that don't work, meaning I can't read anything with them. So now my reading glasses. Okay. I can see you with my progressives, but I can't see my paper. I can see my paper with my glasses, but I can't see you. These are my 5th progressives, people. If anybody has a good eye doctor, please come up after class and share with me, because this is getting ridiculous. Okay, so the commentaries to this say that we have to rely on ourselves to really know how our practice is going. So this is what they're talking about in this context. How is our practice doing, right? That's really the category, the chapter we're in right now, is checking up on ourselves. How are we doing? How is practice helping, hurting, influencing us? And in order to really see that, we can't look at ourselves from the outside in. We have to look from the inside in, right? So in this context, the chief of the 2 witnesses would be the self, meaning you. How am I doing? Ask yourself, am I letting my ego run the show here, or am I, thinking of others? That's a sign that practice is going well. Okay, so especially when adversity arises, that's a really great opportunity to practice and to test how strong our bodhicitta is. How strong is our heart, compassion, bodhicitta? Especially when things are hard. Are we able to have compassion for another who has done us wrong, for example? Maybe we've been hurt. Maybe they've lied to us. That's really hard to do. That in a way that's kind of like advanced Lojong, or intermediate maybe. Intermediate to advanced Lojong. I can have compassion for that jerk who just broke my heart. Right? That's not easy. But believe it or not, that's something that can actually open us to something very beautiful if we can start to stretch into those capacities to have compassion for our so-called enemies, right? That's what this practice is all about, moving in that direction. And then I like this. This part is funny because, it's easy to kind of look and act spiritual from the outside, but really only you know how it's going. So again, check up on yourself. How's it going? Am I really putting the teachings into practice? Are these teachings really helping me, Lojong, train my mind towards greater compassion, understanding, love, empathetic joy, and equanimity? Those are the 4 measurables, yeah? Or is my Dharma practice puffing up my ego with all because now I get to wear a mala on my wrist and look really cool, or now I get to wear the garb or play the role. I'm sure none of you are doing that, but it happens. Personally, I've seen it a lot. I grew up in Dharma communities. I swore I would never be a part of any Sangha anywhere because as a child, I saw so much bullshit in Dharma communities. I thought those people are crazier than everybody else. And a lot of it was true, because like the Buddha said, the Dharma is like medicine. People who are sick will come. That's what it's for. So, but in that sense, we're all have the disease of samsara, and ego clinging and fixation, and we've all come to take the medicine, right? So, but the Alembic is a cool Sangha. If you're going to join one, this is a cool one. I went with Tara Mandala and Lama Tsultrim. That was the first Sangha I met where I was like, okay, I could do this. But until then, I was like, hell no, I'll fly solo. But it's more fun to be around people. So finding a community you can be with and then let them press your buttons. test your Lojong practice. So adversity is a really great thing. We're not running away from it, but of course we're not always looking for it. But when it arises, which it inevitably will, because external circumstances are always changing, it will always disappoint us in some way. So how do we react to life in the face of it? How do we make life as path, or bring life into our practice in a way where it's life as path, suffering as path, pain as path, illness as path, So that's what I've got for this slogan. It's pretty brief. It's, again, a lot of these are like, okay, check in on yourself in essence, So of the two witnesses, hold the principal one, meaning, okay, how am I doing? Let's stop judging everybody else out there like, oh, they should be doing this, they should be doing that. How am I doing? How am I doing? Don't get busy judging other people. Judge yourself, but in the best sense of the word, right? Check in on yourself. What role are you playing in that dynamic? That's something you can work with. That's something you can, kind of control. We can't control the world out there. Like the Buddha said, if the world is strewn with thorns, rather than cover the world with leather, put a pair of shoes on. So. Any questions, comments? Maybe time for one or two, if there are any. Yes, and say your name too.
Laura.
Laura, hi.
I just keep thinking of this, it may be cliche, it's an AA.
I love all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, don't compare your insides to other people's outsides.
I've never heard that, I like that.
Yeah.
That's
sure,
great.
no, it's
That's
totally,
it.
It's very, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like another sort of level of interpretation where are you looking at yourself through like the lens of yourself? Like are you
Yeah.
looking at yourself, or are you looking at through the lens of others? And are you really comparing how you think other people perceive you versus
Isn't it funny that we do that? I mean, it's such a waste of time. It's just like a phantom out, like it's futile. So can you say that again? Don't compare your inside.
Don't compare your insides to other people's outsides.
Don't compare your insides to other people's outsides. I'm also repeating that for the folks who listen tomorrow and might not be able to hear you.
I was listening to a podcast. It was like Rob Lowe was talking about that. And he
Nice.
pulled out that little bit of wisdom, but I was like,
Yeah. You never know when you're going to get those little nuggets. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that with us. Anyone else? Yes, and say your name, please.
I'm Cole.
Cole.
Many of us who grew up or were raised in the Christian tradition
Yes.
were taught from a very young age to honor others above yourself. And I
Yes.
was talking with my brother about this, how we admire the altruistic notion of that commandment,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
it can lead to problems because, like
Yeah.
you said, the self is all we have, and
Mm.
it can cause people to expend too much of themselves
Yes.
to support others who may or may not appreciate that.
Yeah.
So as I've gone through life, I've come more to align with this statement that it's good to give unto others and to
Yes.
honor them, but you have to give from your own plenteousness, your own
Yeah.
growth.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. It's true. Context is everything. Because, I'd say that, I think, is this your first time here tonight? Yeah. So it's interesting. I thank you for bringing that perspective. And I think that people who've been coming regularly would say, well, yeah, actually Lojong is very in line with Christianity on that respect too, right? I mean, that's kind of the main point, is like in Lojong, the practice is to move through stages of like the first stage is seeing yourself as equal to others, right? So, and then eventually you're moving into seeing others more important than you. So you're sort of incrementally going from self-centeredness to other-centeredness, or cherishing others more than you cherish yourself. So that is very similar. But you're right, you have to learn how to attend your own garden and take care of yourself and recharge and nourish yourself. And then it comes out of that sense of plenty. A phrase that I've enjoyed, that's nice in the Buddhist tradition, that talks about you can have compassion, but be careful not to have idiot compassion, which is like that over-giving. It's like too much, the bleeding heart, and then you're dead because you've bled out everything, So like, that's why they say the two wings of the bird of enlightenment consist of compassion and wisdom. Because the wisdom tempers or balances the idiot compassion, right? And then you can also, on the other hand, have a stark, cold wisdom that doesn't have a heart. So the compassion tempers the tendency for the mind, perhaps, to go too far into like philosophy and then become, I don't want to say become nihilist, because nihilism was actually pretty cool, and we don't understand nihilism very well. Nietzsche said that the kingdom of heaven is within us. So he was not. It's not all. But you become a nihilist in the worst sense of the word, where like everything's meaningless. Like, who cares if? Like, that was a danger in ancient Tibet with some of these wisdom teachings, and India. It would be like these yogis who didn't get it would say, "Who cares if I kill somebody? It's all empty. They don't exist. I don't exist." That's, in a sense, idiot wisdom, if there's such a thing. That's the wisdom without the compassion. So yeah, it's all about context fit balance. But in this context, it is about tending your own garden, taking care, watching yourself, and not comparing your inner self with the outer self of others. So, well, thank you, everybody. And I will see you next week for some more Lojong and a little bit of Tara book, sharing, show and tell. And then in 2 weeks, we will do Feeding Your Demons. Don't be afraid. It's actually a lot of fun. All right. Take care and enjoy tea out there. Make friends. Introduce yourself to somebody new, maybe. That we're building community here. It's a nice way to get to know each other. As Thich Nhat Hanh always said, the next Buddha is the Sangha. All right. Thanks, Hannah. Bye, everybody. If you know a good eye doctor, come up and tell me.